Welcome you all to the second session of mining frequent patterns, association and correlation. In this particular session, we will discuss about a priori algorithm and Hashfish technique. So in my previous session, we have discussed about the basic terms of association and correlation, where we have discussed frequent pattern, frequent item set, frequent structure pattern. So now in this particular session, we'll discuss how we can get the frequent pattern or frequent item set by using a priori algorithm. This session covers the course outcome 4 of our syllabus, which explains about identify and apply the algorithms and techniques of association rule mining and its application. It includes the program outcome, three program outcomes of engineering, that is PO1, that is engineering knowledge, PO4, that is conduct of interesting complex investigation of complex problem, PO5, modern tool used. So here in this particular session, we'll discuss what are the steps to get the frequent item set and how we can generate the association rule from the frequent item set. We have some demerits in a priori algorithm, how to enhance the performance of a priori algorithm by using hash-based technique. The contents are a priori algorithm, a priori property, a priori algorithm in a nutshell, a priori algorithm example, a priori algorithm advantages and disadvantages, hash-based technique. The a priori algorithm basic. The a priori algorithm is an influential algorithm for mining frequent item set for Boolean association rule. The key concepts are frequent item set, that is the set of items which has minimum support denoted by Li for ith item set. Maybe the Li stands for I is equal to 1 to n. So for example, if I am saying one item frequent item set, the Li value will be L1. If two item frequent item set, the Li value will be L2, like that. Second is a priori property. Any subset of a frequent item set must be frequent. This is very important, a priori property. Suppose I am taking a set ABC. Now, what are the subsets of ABC? A, B, C, AB, AC and BC. So, if I am saying ABC is a 3 item frequent item set, that means all of its subset must be frequent. That means A, B, C, AB, AC, BC must be frequent. Next is join operation. To find Lk, a set of candidate k item set is generated by joining Lk minus 1 with itself. Now, suppose we want to find out 2 item frequent item set. So, how to get 2 item frequent item set? So, 2 item frequent item set means L2. So, to get L2, we have to join L1 join operation L1. Then we can generate the candidates for 2 item frequent item set. How exactly this is happening, that we'll discuss in the later slide. A priori property. Reducing the search space to avoid finding of each LK requires one full scan of the database. If an item set I does not satisfy minimum support threshold, minimum support the I is not frequent, that is P of I less than minimum support. So frequent item, that means a item set which satisfy the minimum support, then only we can say it is a frequent item set. So this minimum support threshold are defined by, it is a user specified number. So we have to check it for either is a 1 item set, 2 item set or 3 item set. If an item A is added to item set I, now suppose AB is an item and C is another item added to AB, then the resulting item set will be ABC. So here it is explained as resulting item set is I union A. It cannot occur more frequently than I. Therefore, I union A is not frequent either, that is P of I union A is less than minimum support. Now suppose if that is the combination is not frequently occur in all the transactions, then we can say that it is not a frequent item set. Now the a priori algorithm in a nutshell. So here we'll explain what is the role of a priori algorithm very briefly. First step of a priori algorithm is find the frequent item sets, the set of items that have a minimum support. A subset of frequent item set must also be frequent item. This is a priori property. If AB is a frequent item set, both A and B should be a frequent item set. That means A and B are the subset of AB. If I am saying AB is a frequent item set, that means A and B must be frequent. Otherwise, we cannot say that AB as a frequent item set. Once we are done with the frequent item set, then the next step is we have to find out the generation rule. So we have to iteratively find frequent item set with cardinality 1 to k, that is k item set, like L1, L2, L3 up to Lk. How much number of elements or items are present in the transaction. Now once we have done with the frequent item set, next step is use the frequent item set to generate the association rule. Now this association rule, how we are generating, here we are depending on minimum confidence. So once you are getting a frequent item set, that means all the frequent item set are satisfying the minimum support. Now once you are getting if that particular item set, we are taking any of the item set and that rule generated from that item set satisfy the minimum confidence, then we can say we will get a strong association rule. So here we can use the example where we can explain how the a priori algorithm is working to find out the minimum frequent item set and strong association rule. So there are 9 transactions present in this slide. TID is the transaction ID. List of item sets are the number of items present for each transaction. Here T100 includes the items like I1, I2, I5. T200 includes the items like I2 and I4. T300 includes the items like I2 and I3. T400 includes I1, I2 and I4. T500 includes I1 and I3. T600 includes I2 and I3. T700 includes I1 and I3. T800 includes I1, I2, I3 and I5. T900 includes I1, I2 and I3. Now, this dataset D consisting of 9 number of transactions. Here it is given the minimum support count required is 2. So, if it is given in a number, that means if the items are present in minimum 2 transactions, I can say the item is a frequent item. So, if you convert it to the percentage, then it is 2 by 9, it is 22%. And the minimum confidence required for a strong association rule is 70%. We have to first find out the frequent item set using a priori algorithm. Then association rules will be generated using minimum support and minimum confidence value. Now, generating one item set frequent pattern. This is the step 1. So here first we are scanning a total data set D for count of each candidate. So in my data set I have already shown you there are 9 number of transactions. So I1, if you see all through the transaction, I1 is present in 6 number of transactions. I2 is present in 7 number of transactions. I3 is present in 6 number of transactions. I4 is present in 2 number of transactions. And I5 is present in 2 number of transactions. So here these are the item set and these are the support count. Support count means number of time the particular item is present in the data set. Now once These are the number of candidates from where we can choose our frequent item set. In this particular point, I cannot say that all are frequent item set. So to check the frequent item, we have to compare the support count with the minimum support threshold. So here we are comparing candidate support count with minimum support count. So in the example, the required minimum support count is 2. So here I have to see which particular item set satisfying minimum transaction 2. Then we can declare that candidate as a frequent item set. Now you can see all of the candidates here are satisfying either the values are 2 or it is more than 2. So all the candidates are now selected for L1. L1 is nothing but your one item frequent item set. So again we have noted the same item set with the support count, and this is ready with a L1 list, that is one item frequent item set. So here the set of frequent one item set L1 consists of the candidate one item set with satisfying minimum support. In the first iteration of the algorithm, each item is a member of the set of candidate. As here we have not discarded any of the candidate. For example, suppose I3 support count is 2 less than 2, it is 1. Then I should discard this I3 from the list. But here we didn't find any of the candidate is having less than 2 number of transactions. The support count is satisfying the minimum support threshold. That's why all are selected to the L1 list. Now the step 2, that is generating two item set frequent pattern. As in the very beginning in a priori not cell I have explained, we have to iteratively find out the k item frequent item set. So up to this we have only find out one item frequent. In every item we can increase the frequent item set number. So after L1 now we can generate L2, that is generating two item set frequent pattern. Now how to generate? First, generate the C2 candidate from L1. As previously we have discussed, to get L2, the candidate should be selected by L1, join operation L1. So what are the number of items set in my L1 list? I1, I2, I3, I4, I5. So if you join L1 into L1, the resultant C2, the resultant sets are like I1, I2, I1, I3, I1, I4, I1, I5, I2, I3, I2, I4, I2, I5, I3, I4, I3, I5 and I4, I5. So these are the number of candidates present in my C2 list. Now we have to scan the D. See, we cannot say that this C2 is as L2. Again here I have to check all the candidates support count in my main database. So again second time we have to scan the data set for count of each candidate. Now while scanning we can found I1, I2 is present in together present in 4 number of transactions. So here we have to see the set at a time together I1 and I2 are present in how many number of transactions. So there we found out of 9 transactions I1 and I2 are present in 4 transactions. I1 and I3 are present in 4 transactions. I1 and I4 are present in 1 transaction. I1 and I5 present in 2 transactions. I2 and I3 present in 4 transactions. I2 and I4 present in 2 transactions. I2 and I5 present in 2 transactions. I3 and I4 present in 0 transaction. I3 and I5 present in 1 transaction, and I4 and I5 is not there in the list, so it is 0. So now we have our C2 with the support count present in the dataset. Now from this step again we'll move forward to find out our L2 list. Now what is L2? It is a 2 item frequent item set. Again I have to explain the same step, that is compare candidate support count with the minimum support count. The minimum support count is 2. So you can see in the list those item set whose support count is less than 2, like I1, I4 it is 1, then I3, I4 it is 0, I3, I5 it is 1, and I4, I5 it is 0. So all these item sets should be discarded from the list. It should not be moved forward to the L2 list. So in my L2 list only 6 number of item sets are present out of 10 item sets. So 4 item set has been rejected from this step C2 to L2. So now our L2 list is I1 I2 4, I1 I3 4, I1 I5 2, I2 I3 4, I2 I4 2 and I2 I5 2. Here we can use the a priori property. So first of all, before going to I1 I2, before checking the support count, I can say how I can say I1 I2 are frequent. If its subsets are frequent, that means a priori property. The subsets of I1 and I2 both are frequent. So that's why here all the 2 item sets, its subsets are 1 item set. And in my previous slide, as I have explained, all the 1 item sets are frequent. We have not used a priori property for the 2 item set. Now step 3, generating 3 item set frequent pattern. Now how to get 3 item set frequent pattern? Here the generation of the set of the candidate 3 item set C3 involves use the a priori property. In order to find the C3, we compute L2 join operation L2. Actually this C3 can be generated by L2 join operation L2. So what is there in L2? 6 number of items are present in the L2. So if you join that, number of sets will be generated. But here I have reduced the set. I have only kept I1, I2, I3, I1, I2, I5. These two sets. Why? Because these two sets satisfy a priori property. All other than that, other sets what is generated by C3 are not satisfying a priori property. That's why we have discarded those things from the C3. Now once we are getting these two sets, next step is we are scanning the data set D to find out the support count of individual item set. Now I1, I2, I3, the support count is 2. That means I1, I2, I3 together present in 2 transactions. I1, I2, I5 support count is 2. That means I1, I2, I5 together present in 2 transactions. Now here once we are getting with this C3 with the support count, next step is we have to compare the candidate support count with minimum support count. So the candidate support count is 2 and 2, minimum support count required it is 2. So this both the sets are now selected for L3 list. So in our L3 we are having I1, I2, I3 and I1, I2, I5 as a frequent 3 item set. Now as I have discussed in my previous slide, if you join L2 with L2, we'll get the sets like I1, I2, I3, I1, I2, I5, I1, I3, I5, I2, I3, I4, I2, I3, I5 and I2, I4, I5. So these are the maximum number of set we can get while joining L2 with L2. Now from this set you can find only I have kept two things I1, I2, I3 and I1, I2, I5 in my set. So how? Because here we have utilized the a priori property. Based on the a priori property, all subsets of a frequent item set must also be frequent. We can determine that 4-letter candidates cannot be possibly by frequent. So here for example, suppose I have taken I1, I2, I3. So what are the subsets of I1 and I2, I3? I1, I2, I3, I1, I2, I1, I3 and I2, I3. So all of these subsets are frequent as I1, I2, I3 are there as one item frequent item set. I1, I2, I1, I3 and I2, I3 are there in my L2 list. So according to the a priori property, I can say that this I1, I2, I3 are 3 item candidate are eligible candidate to find out the 3 item frequent item set. If you take I1, I2, I5, the subsets are like I1, I2, I5, I1, I2, I1, I5 and I2, I5. So you can say all that one item set like I1, I2, I5 are there in one item frequent item set and I1, I2, I1, I5 and I2, I5 are present in two item frequent item set. So due to this reason, as these both the sets are satisfying a priori property, we have kept all these two sets in our C3 list. But if you take I1, I3, I5, suppose we are taking another example like I2, I3, I5, which shows how the pruning is performed. The two item subsets are like I2, I3, I5. One item subsets are frequent, but the two item subsets are I2, I3, I2, I5 and I3, I5. So we can found in L2, I2, I3 and I2, I5 may be present. Here I3, I5 is not there in my L2 list, as I3, I5 is not a two item frequent item set. That is the reason why we are not choosing this I2, I3, I5 to our C3 list, as it is a in the pruning step we have discarded this particular set according to the a priori property. So thus we will have removed I2, I3, I5 from C3. Therefore, C3 is I1, I2, I3, I1, I2, I5, and after checking for all members of results of join operation for pruning. Now, the transactions in D are scanned in order to determine L3. So, once you have done, now you got C3, I1, I2, I3 and I1, I2, I5. Again, you have to scan the database to find out the number of support count for individual set. So, once we have done L3 consisting of those scanned 3 item sets, C3 having minimum support, as both the sets are having the support count value is 2, it's satisfying the minimum. That's why these two are chosen as a L3, that means 3 item frequent item set. Now step 4. In step 4, generating 4 item set frequent pattern. The algorithm uses L3 join operation L3 to generate a candidate set of 4 item set, that is C4. So while joining I1, I2, I3 and I1, I2, I5 will get I1, I2, I3 and I5. This item set is pruned because its subsets are like I1, I2, I3, I1, I2, I5, I2, I3, I5. So I1, I2, I3 is there in L3, I1, I2, I5 is there in L3, that is 3 item frequent item set. But while we choosing I2, I3, I5, I2, I3, I5 is not a candidate in L3. So this particular 4 item set is not a candidate for generating 4 item frequent pattern. That's why we got C4 is equal to 5 and the algorithm terminates here. Having found all of the frequent item, this completes our a priori algorithm. Now with this we have generated all the frequent item set like 1 item frequent item set, 2 item frequent item set and 3 item frequent item set. So after this, what's next? Next is this frequent item set will be used to generate strong association rule, where strong association rules satisfy both minimum support and minimum confidence threshold. Step 5, generating a association rule from frequent item set. The procedures are, for each frequent item set, I generate all non-empty subsets of L. So here suppose one frequent item set can be considered as L. Now it's all we have to find out it's all non-empty subsets of L. For every non-empty subsets of S of L, outputs are like S to L minus S. If there is a rule, output is S to L minus S. It is a rule if support count of L divided by support count of S greater than is equal to minimum confidence, where minimum conf is equal to minimum confidence threshold. Now suppose we are taking L as a ABC and S is AB. So the rules can be AB to L minus S, ABC minus AB, that is C, AB to C. So like that, like A to BC, B to CA, like that we have to find out the rule. In the next slide, we will discuss how we are generating a rule by taking one of the example from the frequency. Back to example, we had L is equal to I1, I2, I3, I4, I5 I1, I2, I1, I3, I1, I5, I2, I3, I2, I4, I2, I5, I1, I2, I3 and I1, I2, I5. So these are the number of frequent item set found in our database, from the database. Now let's take as L is equal to I1, I2, I5. This particular set, out of so many set, I have only considered one set to find out the strong association rule. So suppose I1, I2, I5 are the set. Its all non-empty subsets are I1, I2, I1, I5, I2, I5, I1, I2 and I5. Now generating association rule, continuing. Let minimum confidence threshold is 70%. It is already given starting of the example. The resulting association rules shown below are, suppose rule 1, it says you will take a first subset, two item subsets I1, I2. So S2 L minus S, so S2 S is I1, I2 and L minus S is I1, I2, I5 minus I1, I2, this is I5. So confidence, to check whether it is a valid rule or not, the confidence is support count of I1, I2, I5 divided by support count of I1, I2. That is, if you compare, support count of I1, I2, I5 is 2 and support count of I1, I2 is 4. So 2 by 4, it is 50%. So R1 is rejected. Why? Because the minimum confidence required is 70% and here we are getting 50%. That's why this rule 1 is rejected. Next is R2. I1, I5 tends to implies to I2. So here the confidence is support count I1, I2, I5 divided by support count of I1 and I5. Here the support count of I1, I2, I5 is 2 and the support count of I1, I5 is 2. So 2 by 2, it is 100%. R2 is selected. Then R3. I1, I2, I5 implies I1. Here the confidence of support count is equal to I1, I2, I5 support count is 2 and I2, I5 support count is 2. So 2 by 2, it is 100%. The minimum requirement is 70%. It is more than that. So R3 is selected. Rule 4. I1, I2. I1 implies I2 and I5. Here the confidence is support count of I1, I2, I5 divided by support count of I1. So here 2 by 6 is equal to 33%. R4 is rejected. R5. I2 implies I1 and I5. The confidence is support count of I1, I2, I5 divided by support count of I2. It is 2 by 7, it is 29% and the required confidence is 70%. It is less than that, that's why R5 is also rejected. Then R6. I5 to I1 and I2. Here the confidence is support count I1, I2, I5 divided by support count I5. So 2 by 2, it is 100%. R6 selected. So here you can see there are 6 rules, out of which 3 rules satisfying the minimum confidence like R2, R3 and R6. These 3 rules are selected and other 3 rules which is having minimum support count which doesn't satisfy the minimum support count like R1, R4, R5 are rejected. So these are the way we found our 3 strong association rule. Now a priori algorithm advantages and disadvantages. Advantages are use large item set for property, easily parallelized, easy to implement. The concept is very easy to implement. The disadvantage is assumes transaction database in memory residence. So all the transactions, all the candidates, all we require to keep it in the memory. So it requires huge amount of memory space and required many database scan, because in every iteration you have to scan the data set for the to find out the support count of the candidate set. So that's why the number of scannings are more. This is the demerit of a priori algorithm. Is a priori fast enough? A performance bottleneck. The core of the a priori algorithm says use frequent k-1 item set to generate the candidate frequent k item set. Use database scan and pattern matching to collect counts for candidate item set. The bottleneck of a priori is huge candidate set. If huge number of candidates are there, then multiple scans of the database required. That is the bottleneck of the a priori algorithm, candidate generation. Now, the demerits or the performance, how we can able to improve the performance of a priori algorithm. So here we'll discuss a technique like hash-based technique, which is used to improve the performance of a priori algorithm. It reduces the number of candidates. A k-item set whose corresponding hashing bucket count is below the threshold cannot be frequent. So here to find out the frequent item set, you are using a technique like hashing bucket, where we'll find out the bucket number for individual candidate and put that candidate in the bucket. And the bucket containing less candidate or the candidates are found less in number in the bucket, less than minimum threshold, it cannot be frequent. While scanning to generate one item set, we can generate two item set for each transaction and hash map them into different buckets of hash table structure and increase the corresponding bucket count. So no need to scan again and again. Once you are scanning for one item set, you can find out simultaneously the two item set and use the bucket count method or hashing bucket method to find the frequent item set. A two item set whose corresponding bucket count is below the support threshold cannot be frequent. Now, hash table construction. Consider two item sets. All items are numbered as I1, I2, In, I1, I2 up to In for any pair xy has according to the hash function of bucket number is equal to, this is the formula, h of xy is equal to order of x into 10 plus order of y modulo 7. Example, items are like A, B, C, D, E. The orders are like 1, A for 1, B 2, C 3, D 4 and E 5. Now, for example, suppose we want to find out what is the bucket number for the item set C and E, HCE. So, here the order of C is 3 into 10 plus order of E is 5. That comes 35 modulo 7, it is 0. Thus, CE belongs to bucket number 0. Now, this is a particular example as we have discussed for two item set. For the same example we used for a priori algorithm. Here there is a bucket address 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and these are the bucket count and these are the number of frequent item set. Now, how to trim candidate item set? In k iteration, hash all appearing k plus 1 item set in a hash table. Count all the occurrence of an item set in the corresponding bucket. In k plus one iteration, examine each of the candidate item set to see how it is correspond bucket value above the support. This is the necessary condition. Now we'll discuss another example where we are having TID. This is the transactional data set D. TID is 100, that's the transaction ID 100, 200, 300 and 400 and the items are like for 100 it is SCD, for 200 it is BCE, for 300 it is ABCE, for 400 it is BE. Generation of C1 and L1 as a first iteration. Now you can see from in the previous data set, A support count of A, that means A is present in 2 number of transaction, B is present in 3 number of transaction, C is present in 3 number of transaction, D is present in 1 number of transaction and E is present in 3 number of transaction. So this is our C1. Now minimum support requirement is 2. So we should discard this D from the list. So in our L1 list now we are having only A, B, C and E. You can see A with 2 support count, B with 3 support count, C with 3 support count and E with 3 support count. So here from the set we can generate all the 2 item set. Here 100 SCD. So what are the two item sets for this SCD? SC, AD, CD. For 200 we are having BCE. The two item sets are like BC, BE and CE. For 300 we are having ABCE, that is AB, SC, AE, BC, BE and CE. 400 we are having only BE. So these are the list of two item sets generated from our table. Now in our next step we'll found what is the position of individual sets in our bucket. Now this is the hashing function, hash table. For example CE. CE is there in bucket 0. So how many times that C is present in my list? You can see only 2 times are present. So CE and CE 2 times are present. Now AE. How AE comes to bucket number 1? The order of A is 1. Order of A is 1 into 10, it is 10, plus order of E, it is 5, that is 15, modulo 7. So 15 modulo 7, it is coming 1. So AE position is in bucket number 1. Now comes to BC. Order of B is 2. 2 into 10 it is 20, plus order of C is 3. So 23 modulo 7, that is 2. So now BC comes to second bucket and 2 number of BCs are present in our data set. So like that we have individually calculate the bucket number for individual item set. And from here, see L1 and suppose we are saying L1 and L1 are two item sets are like AB, SC, AE, BC, BE, CE, as D was discarded from the first iteration. And numbers in the bucket AB is 1, SC is 2, AE is 1, BC is 2, BE is 3 and CE is 2. So here the resultant C2 are, here we have to discard the bucket number. AB is present in one time, that means it should be discarded. Its minimum support count should be 2. So AE and AB should be discarded from this list. Now in our resultant C2 only we are having SC, BC, BE and CE. But while using a priori algorithm, we are using AB, SC, AE and BC, BE, CE. As you can use the priori property also. If you see the individual one item set of AB, A and B are frequent, A and C are frequent, A and E are frequent, B and C are frequent, B and E are frequent and C and E are frequent. So here if you are using a priori, the number of candidates are more and again you need another scan to find out the support count. But by using this hash based technique, here you can find the support count and we have a C2 resultant set and we can declare this C2 as a L2. That is only the. Now summary. So here in this particular topic, we have a concept, we have a very good idea about frequent item set in our previous session. Now how to generate this frequent item set by a priori algorithm, we have discussed with by taking a example. So first we have taken a frequent item for one item set, then frequent item for two item set. In each and every iteration we have increased the frequent item set, and this particular algorithm continue until we'll get a candidates 5 for a particular frequent item set. Like in C4 in our example, for C4 you got 5, that means the algorithm stops there. So once we have got all the frequent item set, then we have used the minimum confidence threshold to find the strong association rule. As you know that the association mining process is a two-step process. First step is to find out the frequent item, second is find the strong association rule. Next is generating association rule from frequent item set by using a minimum confidence threshold. Now once we have discussed this, the demerit of a priori algorithm is lot many scans. So which can be reduced, or we can improve the performance of a priori by using hash based technique, where we have used a hashing bucket and in one transaction we have counted the support count of individual items frequent item set and support count. Then from every transaction we have generated two item set, and according to the hashing function we have calculated which particular set moves to which number of buckets. So then if you compare, here the number of candidates are less compared to your a priori algorithm. That's why we can improve the performance. So with this we conclude. Thank you.